Welcome to Unify 201, Intermediate and Advanced Plays. By the end of this video, you're going to be comfortable with every single node in the play builder, and we will have built a few intermediate to advanced plays together. You'll officially have completed Unify 201 and will be able to take your outbound to the next level. We have a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. Now, in Unify 101, I suggested that you start with website visitors as a very first play. Visitors to your pricing page, visitors to your product page. Once you get all of those plays put into place, I recommend spinning up a infinity signal or using an AI agent to run qualification on your target accounts. Assuming you've put that list together into your CRM and into the Unify platform, here's how you can then run all kinds of AI agent plays on your target account program. We're going to build this from scratch so that you can start to build the muscle of putting plays together. First, within our trigger, let's pull in our target accounts. Perfect. Now we want to define the main AI agents that we'll want to deploy to qualify these target accounts for different signals. This is completely custom and up to you, but we went through a lot of AI agent examples. So let's imagine you went through that exercise and have your first 3 AI agents defined and created. Now you'll connect this AI agent to this trigger and you'll select it here. Let's say we want to use the pricing agent that we created in a previous video. We'll want to qualify B2B equals true and pricing model seat-based equals qualified. Then once these companies are qualified, we'll want to prospect for the right ICP at this company. Let's say 3 people, let's say head of marketing and United States. Once we've prospected and found all the people, we need to loop through them one by one, and then we want to send each one of them into the right sequence. Here, we'll take our head of marketing, select the mailbox we want this to go out to, and route them into the right sequence, and click done. This is our first AI agent play. This runs on companies. Next, you might want to do a variation of this with people. Go into here, qualify for the right people at target accounts. And in this example, let's run our AI agent internal tools buyer persona AI agent. Give this the minimum number of years of experience. And similarly, prospect for the right people. Since this play is getting us people from the very beginning, we don't need to prospect and loop through, so we can delete these and just automatically connect our sequence. In just a few minutes, we're starting to build out all of the kinds of AI agent plays on a target account program or a territory to cover and reach those accounts across all different angles. So once you're done with your website visitors, this is the one I recommend considering next so that you can start getting in front of the right target accounts. Next up is creating a play using our G2 integration. Click New Play and then click Create from Template. Scroll down and click Prospect and Sequence G2 Visitors. You will need to have set up G2 integration in advance, as well as integrating your CRM. Once you've done that, click Try this template. Everything is already set up for us. This trigger is automatically configured to connect to your G2. You can see it here under Edit Conditions. Scroll down, and we're setting it to say when G2 page views are greater than 1, and you can adjust the date range here and click Done. Then the prospecting node will prospect for people at companies that have visited our G2 page, loop through each person, enroll them in the sequence, and then sync that record to Salesforce once we've emailed them. If you have G2, this is a great play to consider adding to your list. Now, let's go through the remaining nodes in our play builder here so that we can get very comfortable with navigating this and building complex, intermediate, and advanced plays from start to finish. In previous videos, we've gone through the trigger node, the AI agent node, the prospecting node, and the sequencing node, but what about Slack alerts? Let's say we want to first configure our territory, and then we want an AI agent to qualify for a certain recent news event, and then we want to send ourselves a Slack alert. We can select the channel here as well as the person. If we only want to send it to a person directly in their DMs, we can use a template like this to send over relevant information about that company that was just qualified in this play. Here, we can customize what the Slack alert actually says. This was a recent news event. I can customize the message to say, news event alert, check it out, there was a recent news event. And the notification will look something like this, and it will tell me exactly what play it came from. So that's the Slack alert. Next is the sync to Salesforce node. I'm not going to cover sync to Salesforce too much in this tutorial, but basically it lets you write back to update a company or account in Salesforce. Now let's take a look at all of the utility nodes. We've already seen the loop block in action, so next up, let's take a look at the if-else block. If I just drag this onto the canvas, I first am getting the notification that I need to connect this to a company or person so that I can configure it. Let's say we're running a marketing event in two major cities, one in San Francisco and one in New York. We want to reach out to all the folks in our target accounts that live in New York and that live in San Francisco to invite them to our event. Let's connect our target accounts. Then we want to prospect for the right ICP at our target accounts. So I'm going to add a prospecting node. And let's say for our event that I want heads of sales and heads of growth. And that's it. Then I want to filter these based on where they live because we're only running this event in San Francisco and New York. I'm going to loop through all of these people and then filter them depending on where they live. The if-else block is going to allow me to create that filter. I'll click Add Conditions on the left-hand side here, and at the person level, I'll want to say where the city is equal to San Francisco. Done. And if true, I will route them into the San Francisco invitation sequence. And if false, I'll want to run an if-else one more time because I only want to grab people that are in New York. So the next condition I'll add here is city is equal to New York. Done. And if this is true, then I'll want to route them to my New York sequence. So this is an example of taking our entire target account program, prospecting for the right ICP for the event that we're running, looping through each of those people, seeing if they live in San Francisco. If so, enroll them in my San Francisco invitation. And if not, do they live in New York? And if so, enroll them in my New York invitation. I love how repeatable this is because every time you run an event now in New York, San Francisco, refresh your audience and run them through this play. Great. Now let's take a look at the A/B testing block. This will let us divide an audience of people so that we can run experiments. Here I can connect the A/B test block to my target accounts, set some weights. For half of the people, we can prospect, loop, and then sequence. And then for the other half of the people, we can prospect, loop, and then send them into a sequence. And that's it for the A/B testing block. The last three nodes are pretty self-explanatory. First is a time delay, which is adding a time delay between nodes. Then we also have a get the company of a person node and get people at a company node. Last but not least, I want to share 2 tips for navigating the Play Builder successfully. First is to always be mindful of whether the node that you're working with is a company node or a people node. It's never going to be both. It's only going to be either a company node or a people node. So sometimes confusion can arise when you're trying to do something, but you can't connect one node to another because the nodes are incompatible. One thing I ran into a lot when I was first learning how to build plays was I would often get confused about whether I was in a company node or a people node. For example, I would have this trigger, which is getting accounts, which are companies, and you can see this yellow icon here. This tells you that it's a company node. And then I would try to automatically enroll people into a sequence like this, and it wouldn't connect, and I didn't know why. And this sequence node requires people into it for it to work because it can't sequence a company. It needs email addresses. So as you're building plays, just make sure that the icons match. So this yellow icon doesn't match with this blue icon of a person. But all that means is that you need to first prospect for people at those companies and then route them into the sequence. And so we're going to grab the prospecting node and we can see that these 2 icons match, which is going to lead me to my second tip. You're probably going to then try this. You're going to try to connect your sequence node to your prospect node and it's not going to connect. And you're like, why? The icons match. Well, it's because the prospecting node is prospecting for multiple people in a company, and we need to tell it to go through each person one by one and route them into the right sequence because there might be logic in the sequencer that is dependent on whether that person is a certain persona or not. The shortcut to this is to always use a prospecting node with a loop block. We just have to put it like that. And you've seen this in many videos now, so this hopefully isn't too surprising, but now we can connect our sequence to the loop block. So that's the second tip. Prospecting nodes and loop blocks always go together. And don't forget to do that so that you can connect your sequence to the loop block. Those are my 2 tips for having a smoother experience in the Play Builder. All right, congratulations on completing Unify 201. You are not a beginner at Unify anymore. This is great. I am so thrilled that you joined this journey with me. Thank you for being one of the first people ever to go through this Unify University program. So, where do you go from here? 2 things. First, start building all of your outbound plays ideas. If you remember in the first video, I highly strongly recommended that you start with your first 10 plays, then work your way up to 20, 50, 100 plays. Get the motion going and just start building your first ones. The second thing I recommend is to watch the outbound plays videos. I have a whole outbound plays series on our YouTube channel. We often cross-post it to LinkedIn, so I would follow us there as well. But if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you want to, follow me on LinkedIn, I post outbound plays every single week. Watch these videos and you will quickly become advanced because those plays, a lot of them are at the intermediate to advanced level. And I just like to show off all the cool things that you can do with outbound. So if you just stay watching those outbound plays videos, you're going to uplevel your skills very quickly. Last but not least, this is just the first version of Unify University. I'm planning to update University every single quarter so that it's constantly refreshed with all the best practices and that it reflects the UI of our very quickly changing product. So if you ever need a refresher, just come back a little bit later and you'll probably see brand new tutorials in Unify University to keep your skills sharp. Well, thank you again so much for joining me and for watching Unify University. I really appreciate you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And I will see you in the next video.